Good evening, everyone. It is Sunday, February 15th, 2026, and in today's video, we're going to kind of go over some of the remnants of the system we've been seeing this weekend, go over some of the latest with that, go over watches, warnings, and advisories, as we're starting to see an uptick in winter weather-related advisories and things of that sort out west, kind of like we've been talking about. So we're going to go over all of that. We're going to go over the storm system we're likely going to see the middle of next week in the northern plains, and we're also going to discuss the kind of longer range forecast here for through the rest of the month of February, really into the early parts of March. It's crazy that we've already gotten here to March so far, so definitely something interesting there, but we're going to go over all of that in today's video. So like this video if you like it, subscribe if you've not done so already, and please leave a comment down below where you're watching from. It'd be greatly appreciated. So as you can see from this loop here, we can see the remnants of this low pressure kind of rolling east right now. A few different features of note show up in my opinion. One of them being this: there's actually a severe warning kind of approaching Dublin, Georgia here. So um, it's interesting, especially because this is behind all of the main activity. I would have assumed that this environment would have been too cold, but it's also had some time to warm up here. So pay attention to that. We also have a relatively strong kind of line segment of storms rolling onshore here, not really moving a whole lot. These might make it down to Tampa Bay. So let's go over some of the Watch 20s and advisories, and we'll get into the Storm Prediction Center outlook on this tab as well. So starting out west here, we can see there are quite a few winter weather advisories in this purple. They're kind of everywhere here. You see winter storm warnings in the highest elevations here, a lot of them actually. And then these tan colors are wind related. These are wind advisories. They're high wind watches in areas of the Central Plains, Southern Plains. And again, you might be thinking, are there winter storm warnings out here in areas of, say, Nebraska? No, these are actually red flag warnings. So we have red flag warnings bordering winter weather advisories. So isn't that's weird? But yeah, this is just for fire weather stuff here. We do have winter storm warnings up in the highest elevations of Colorado as well. So that's out west. We move this east a bit. We have a special weather statement for patchy fog. This area, there's other patchy fog things. These are likely also severe. Yeah, these are severe down here. And there is this little severe thunderstorm warning. It says tornado possible on it. So just briefly here, I will go over this. Let's see. Yeah, there's definitely some rotation in here. Very minuscule amounts of it, not anything crazy, but if you're in areas of, say, Dublin, Georgia, just stay tuned to your local sources here. They'll be going over all of this for you. We can switch this back here. And then you can see what's left of these tornado watches down here in areas of Florida. So these will expire relatively soon. So we'll also look here at the SPC outlook. So this is what we've got remaining today. We do have a slight risk up. I expect that they'll drop this in the next outlook cycle here. This should drop. It'll drop in a few hours. So we got a little bit more to go here. There areas of, say, Tampa, Orlando, you guys do have a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk for severe weather for the next several hours here. So stay tuned to your local sources for that. So we can move this on to tomorrow, and we do have a few different marginal risks up. We have it's weird that we have winter storm warnings bordering this, but this is because the elevation change is so drastic. But the kind of southern areas of coastal California here have a marginal risk. We can break this down by type. There's a 2% risk of a tornado within 25 miles of any given location. Also up here, down between Sacramento areas down here toward Merced, California. So something to watch there. I don't expect this to be anything huge. The wind threat here is just a 5% wind risk, and then the hail is non-existent here. So we do have some risk area out here, and we move on one more day. And we have a few different areas to kind of watch for general thunder, but nothing crazy there. So all of that being said, that is our current conditions. Here's the latest satellite loop. As the sun goes down, you can see what's going on with all of this system here as it kind of rotates and the sun goes down, so you can't see it anymore. But this will be out of our hair pretty soon, guys. It's been fun to track this one with you. Hopefully you've enjoyed the content that's come out about this. A lot of people have been posting about this, so hopefully if you're down in the areas of the South, you stayed safe, and enjoyed the rain because I'm going to show you this briefly. We'll also go over the rain that we've gotten so far. It's kind of impressive. So this is what the HRRR says could happen between now and the next several hours. This line of storms continues down through areas of central Florida, and it starts to kind of disintegrate by the early morning hours tomorrow. So we got several hours to go here, and these storms in, say, central areas of Georgia also got a little bit more time before they're expected to die out. So going from there, we also can look at the rain. This is likely, yeah, this ended this morning. So we will show you this same map for the southeast in tomorrow's video. But this is for our neighbors further to the west. I mean, there are areas of Arkansas here that got over 4 inches. So hopefully this kind of knocks out some of the drought conditions we've been seeing in this area. And again, we'll show you the southeast tomorrow when this map comes out. So that's always interesting to see the results of an event like this. So we go from there. I do want to show you, there's one model I'm going to show you here because I think it's doing pretty well showing it. We have possible snow starting in just a matter of hours in areas of Pennsylvania and New Jersey here. So let's look at it. This is the NAM. I think it's doing pretty well showing there's an area of moderate snow that develops in eastern areas. Pennsylvania is getting into northern New Jersey here. And I didn't pull this up. I can show it to you on the fly here, but uh, there's just sporadic snow showers, even in areas of upstate New York, and this moves offshore. So as far as I know, this will let me. Yeah. So the amount of snowfall here that we're seeing is not crazy, but even I mean the NAM is indicating even as much as maybe 3 inches in eastern areas of Pennsylvania and areas north of Trenton, New Jersey. And there's a small signal other areas as well, kind of from the Finger Lakes up through upstate New York, bordering areas of. I always get these mixed up. I think this is New Hampshire, I believe. It's crazy. I can't remember. But I think yeah, areas of New Hampshire here, and there even is some in areas of Connecticut. So Long Island can see a couple inches of snow over the next couple of hours. So moving past that, I'm going to show you the European model run for when was this? This was the latest run. So yeah, we're going to show you this for the Northern Plains here and what we could be seeing. So this is starting off. I didn't have it in the right place, so I apologize. But this is starting off this coming Tuesday evening. We have rain in the areas of the Northern Plains here. That's where we were looking if you didn't know. And it transitions to snow as we make our way about midnight this coming Tuesday into Wednesday. And there are areas of heavy snow in the Northern Plains, North Dakota, Minnesota, and the Western Great Lakes area. Kind of expands a bit, goes up into Canada, makes its way over into the UP of Michigan. So it's a decent looking event for you guys. I can't believe I forgot to pull up the snowfall graphic for this, so I will have to do that on the fly here. But yeah, we have an area of snow here developing, and it there's just pockets of it that are heavier, pockets of it that are weaker, but it's just kind of widespread snow in areas of the Northern Plains this coming Wednesday. And these kind of the heaviest showers kind of move up into areas of Canada. So we'll have to watch and see what happens. It's a very broad area of snow. And the Euro kind of likes the idea of another low pressure forming. It has done this several times now. This is the run before. So maybe a southward trend with this secondary low, but in areas of Nebraska and South Dakota here, even areas of Iowa and Minnesota, we have an area of snow. It gets into Wisconsin. Um, so yeah, there's another kind of moderate event for you guys. And we're not going to show you anything else with this event. So I'm going to have to pull this up on the fly. I apologize for that. So I'm going to show you the European run. Oh, it's already perfect. So let's see here. This should be, let's go a little bit more here. So this is the snowfall footprint for this event. I mean, as much as like a foot of snow could fall in areas of Minnesota and far northern areas maybe of Wisconsin. So that's a pretty strong signal showing up here. I will switch this over to the Euro ensemble just to be a little bit more conservative in showing you this. I don't want to be irresponsible here, but I mean it's a pretty similar look here. And so notice how this area is, there's not as much of a separate area. It's because it kind of doesn't know where the secondary low is going to go, but there's a definite signal in areas of Nebraska for up to 3 inches, 3.5 inches of snow with that secondary low that forms. And we kind of have a 1 to 2 inch mean that rolls to the east of this. And you can see highlighted, I think, pretty well here, just the overall footprint of this low. I mean, this has not gotten a whole lot of attention, but this could definitely drop a decent amount of snow. Now, I'm going to pull this back. This is what the Euro Ensemble says for snowfall in areas of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Long Island. I mean, there's 2 inches of snow on average showing up for areas of like Philadelphia and Trenton. So that's cool. New York City could see even as much as 2 inches. So definitely something to watch there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of that. Where were we? Yeah, so it was time to switch here. So we're gonna start this off. This is also the Euro. Starting off the time of this second low pressure, you can see it kind of move off to the east there. It does get some snow into areas of the northeast, so something to watch there. We have a low pressure form in the central areas of the U.S. getting into this coming weekend, but it doesn't do a whole lot. It could be severe weather to the south. Again, it's kind of hard to figure these things out at this range. We just have to watch for trends. But I mean, for example, this is important to me because I'm going skiing. Some of you guys have been watching these videos might remember that I had a ski trip scheduled for the weekend of the ice storm, and that got postponed. So if that's this coming weekend, so I'm gonna miss Saturday with the video. But there could be snow in areas of the Northeast and West Virginia where I'm going. So that's interesting. But yeah, this coming weekend, any Saturday, Sunday, maybe we have snow in a lot of areas of Pennsylvania based on the Euro. Not a forecast though. But I mean, this even gets a pretty strong low pressure going just off the coast and throws blizzard conditions possibly back at areas of the mid-Atlantic, the Delmarva. So something to watch. And there's some northwest flow snow getting going in the Appalachian Mountains that kind of follow in behind. We get a ridge spiking in the central U.S. again. Low pressure doesn't do a whole lot. Here's a big low pressure getting out past 10 days, closer to 300 hours. And yeah, we have a big low pressure rolling through the central areas of the country, but kind of hard to nail down details at this point. Likely severe weather in the deep south here. That line of storms that kind of gets going. But even look at this. I mean, this is interesting. We have snow, heavy snow, falling in areas of the northern Cumberland Plateau here. I mean, this is out in no man's land. This is March 1st. But there's something to watch. There's a low pressure here. So we'll see if our other model, the GFS model, agrees on this. But there's a area of pretty heavy snow that falls from areas, say Tennessee up into the northeast. So something to watch, and that's the last frame we have. So the GFS, we're going to go over this as well. This is starting off this Tuesday, coming Tuesday evening, and you can see it does a lot with this snow as well. But the GFS introduces more freezing rain in the eastern areas. I think that's well possible we could see it because this event has rain to it. So if the surface temperatures line up correctly, we could absolutely see freezing rainfall, but you're not expected to get anything crippling, I don't think. But this moves off. The GFS kind of does something with the second low pressure, but it's further to the south and doesn't do as much with moisture. So something interesting, but it does get it going as we get into areas, say Wisconsin. So that's definitely an interesting little feature there showing up, and get this cursor off your screen. So yeah, we have a low pressure form in the deep south. It doesn't do a whole lot. So again, here it is, February 22nd. This will be my the last day I'm up there in West Virginia. We have snow falling in the Appalachian Mountains, mostly the higher elevated regions. It's a little bit too warm, but there's a big moisture bomb across areas of the eastern U.S., and you can see that it's cold enough in some areas. So we'll have to watch that. It's a little bit further out, but it's definitely something to watch. It gets the northeast going. The GFS doesn't like spinning up some sort of really strong low pressure, but it definitely could happen. Northwest flow. I mean, look at that. There's even snow showers and say, I mean, it's just the kind of the sand hills of North Carolina. So something to watch. There's the Northwest flow event. And then we go one more frame, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is receiving snow based on the GFS model. Um, this is not this coming Monday. This is not tomorrow. This is the Monday after. So a week and a day from now. I mean, there's snow. So something to watch. I don't expect this to be anything major though. Afterwards, uh, we get a big low pressure spinning up. Kind of looks similar to what we just did, but further north. So it has a low pressure spinning up here, but not cold enough for winter weather until we get to the northeast. So it could happen. Is there anything worth noting? No, there really isn't, other than a few of those smaller scale things. No massive storm system that tracks across. So what drives all of this? Well, we're going to look here at the Euro ensemble. If you don't know where you're looking, this is just in North America. You can see it, Canada, US, down in Mexico area. So we're looking at the mid levels, say 3 to 4 miles above your head, and we're looking at whether we have troughing or ridging. So where you see this like blue, that is a trough. That is cooler air. That's essentially, think about it as a cold air source. You can see this red. That's a ridge, and that is warmer air. So I do think that a predominant pattern for a lot of this month will be above average. But we do have a signal, as we're going to look at in a second, for seeing some below average temperatures work their way in a few different times. So starting this off this coming Wednesday, and you can see how that blue, that troughing, kind of extends into areas of the northern US, even makes it down into areas of, say, Texas. So it's a pretty expansive trough here. And do you see how there's a very subtle, like, kind of separate area of low pressure here in the Midwest? This is February 20th. This is the beginnings of that event in, say, the Northeast, the area of Pennsylvania, even down to West Virginia, like we've been talking about. You see it breaks off, and there's a very definitive area of lower pressure, 132 hours out. So that's what would be driving that event. The Euro ensemble would tell me that it's a bit earlier with this, maybe the 21st through the day as opposed to the 22nd. But either way, here's here's another one. I mean, this is the evening of the 22nd. We have another kind of area of lower pressure and cooler air aloft, so something to watch. We could have kind of multiple little waves of frozen precipitation in the areas of the central Appalachian Mountains. So something to watch there for sure. But this is a little bit beyond that super reliable time frame. That being said, it's also not crazy far out ahead of us. So it's definitely something to pay attention to. We have a ridge start spiking in the central areas of the US to warm us up again as we move towards the 25th. But it gets replaced by a trough once again. And you can just, it's kind of hard to tell exactly. We'll just look at the last frame. One thing I want you guys to keep your eyes on, or wanted to you guys, I should have mentioned this earlier. You see that area stays like generally troughing most, if not all, of the entire time. So what that would lead me to believe is that we're kind of marinating a cold air source, if you will, in areas of far western Canada. And what that has done this winter so far, what that has managed to do is build up to be very cold and then drop down. This frame right here, this is March 2nd. This frame right here, what this would support, you have a big cold air source right here. It would support it kind of going like this. It being transported off like this. Maybe not down to the south that far, but it kind of supports this zonal. It brings this cold air source and just kind of does that with it. It doesn't go like this, like we've been seeing. It doesn't go like this. It kind of does the first one. Just moves it due east. So this would tell me that northern areas of the US would remain colder. So let's look at it. This is the Euro ensemble, and this is temperature anomalies. So where you see these reds, it's above average temperatures for this time of year. That's not going to be that hot, guys. It's wintertime. But you can see that where temperatures are these well below average, that would be quite cold. That's in areas of Canada. This is starting out Wednesday. But you can see this cooler air kind of works its way down so that the western half of the US generally is below average to some degree. And you can also see it's hard to tell, but for example, this frame right here, we'll use this one. Do you see how there's like an area right here where they're just locally less than the areas surrounding it? That's that little shortwave trough that we just saw. So I'm telling you guys, it's not gonna be freezing cold, but it does cool you down just a bit. It does. It's hard. It's very, very hard to see though. Again, most of the eastern U.S. is warmer. The Northeast is cooler though. Western U.S. cool. But look at this frame. This is February 23rd in the morning. So again, a week and a day from now. And what do we have? Well, we have kind of an expansive area of just generally below average temperatures. Not anything crazy. There's areas in here where it's white. That means it's neutral. But this is kind of that secondary wave. It's much more expansive. And I think it's because, again, we have this cold air source. You can't even see all of it. It's been marinating here for a while and it will continue to do so. And I think that this little shortwave kind of opens the door for this to spill east. I think that's what it really does. And that's what we're seeing here. But we warm up again. Look at this frame. I mean, this is February 24th, a week and 2 days or so from now. Look at the western U.S. Number one has warmed up. I meant to say the eastern U.S. The eastern U.S. is decently below average, as much as 4 to 6 degrees. That's not freezing, but it's wintertime. So if your daytime highs are 48, that would put you in the low 40s. So noticeably cooler, not going to drive anything crazy, but we do see that. But we do also see a warm up afterwards. So we kind of go back and forth. I think February is going to be a big swing month where we just go one way and then back the other. But you can see areas of Canada up there remain just cooler, and we take it to the end frame, and kind of like what we were saying, you got your cold air source, and it supports it just kind of going like this. So there's literally a little like area here where it extends out. But generally, we have above average. So if I'm going to take this and just hold the arrows down, you will see, and you do, mostly red colors. So I think an overarching thing will be above average, but we go back and forth quite a bit. And I think a good way that we can show this, just the storm track and the energy, I think, because ultimately what I was trying to say there is because we have so much swinging back and forth and such a potent cold air source kind of marinating up here in western areas of Canada, if we have an active southern stream that, say, let's like draw out a scenario here. You have a low pressure that forms right here. So you have a low pressure that forms. Well, if you got cold air to the north and you have well, I can't really use and you have moisture to the south. Well, obviously what you're going to get is somewhere in here you get something to happen. And I've been not to like brag or anything. I've been saying consistently this area right here would be kind of an area to watch for activity in general because we have a surface low track here that supports picking up both cold air from the north and moisture from the south. Moisture and cold air equals winter weather 99% of the time in wintertime. So all that to say, number one, I need to get this off, and I can't seem to. That's a shame. I have to do this. That's annoying. Anyway, all that to say, you can see that this is way up in the atmosphere. I mean, this is many miles up. But this is the flow, and this is just showing you the overall direction of energy in the atmosphere. And you can see how it continually is not only strong, but it goes mostly the same way. Just from kind of the desert southwest up through the mid-Atlantic, like the entire time. And I don't know what just happened there. So notice also we get to say a different time frame, get out a little bit further. So this right here is the evening of the 22nd, getting into the 23rd. You see how this dips? That's the reason we have that well below average, not well below average, that pretty strong signal for below average temperatures in the eastern U.S. show up around the 23rd. That's why. It's what draws it. And now there is quite a ridge that shows up here on the 24th, 25th, but it also gets replaced by a very active, potent southern stream once again. And I mean, if you go out to the end frame here, it looks zonal. But if I put this in motion here, you can see how, especially, I mean, do you see how it went from like all smooth and normal to all over the place? That just goes to show you that I think when we get a little bit past, I mean, we're literally mid-month right now, a little bit past it. We get into next week, into the middle of next week, through the rest of the month, I think our jet stream kind of goes haywire a bit. up and down, back and forth, and that's why we get so many cold and warm air swings through the entire thing. All of that to say, I think we'll have an active pattern starting middle to late next week and then going through the end of the month. So thank you guys for watching as always. I hope you guys, again, have stayed safe in the South during this severe event, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the rain. I mean, I've gotten an inch and 44 hundredths at my house. Very much needed and appreciated. So thank the Lord for that as always. We definitely need that. And I will briefly here kind of show you these northern areas that could start switching. We do have, say, freezing rain starting to show up here. So who knows? Definitely keep an eye on this event. I think localized areas could get 3 or maybe even 4 inches. And look, there's even snow showing up right here. So something to watch. But all that to say, thank you guys for watching as always, and tune in tomorrow. I'll get a video out to you guys and go over all the latest. So that being said, tune into that. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I will see you in the next one.